You feel that sharp sting of a paper cut, or the deep ache in your muscles after a hard day. Your body screams stop. It's a biological limit, a hardwired reality we all accept. Or is it? What if pain, fatigue, and even the laws of physics as they apply to your body are just suggestions? What if I told you there's a dormant operating system running in the background of your biology? An energy grid that ancient masters learned to consciously control? They called it ki. And no, this isn't about wellness blogs or gentle morning stretches. Forget everything you think you know. We're talking about a force so potent that its masters could allegedly turn their skin to steel, withstand impossible blows, and channel explosive power from thin air. For centuries, hidden away in the misty mountains of China, Shaolin monks weren't just practicing martial arts. They were beta testing the outer limits of human capability. They treated the body not as a prison of flesh and bone, but as a conductor for a cosmic energy. What we're about to explore isn't just an ancient philosophy. It's a forbidden blueprint for human hardware. A biological secret that doesn't just help you endure reality. It might just allow you to rewrite it. To understand how a monk can turn his body into a living weapon, we have to travel way back. Long before the first stone of the Shaolin temple was ever laid. The concept of ki isn't a Shaolin invention. It's the bedrock of Chinese philosophy. Picture ancient China, not of dynasties and armies, but of sages and mystics observing the subtle flows of nature. They saw a unifying force in everything. The river carving through rock, the storm gathering in the sky, the life pulsing in a single blade of grass. They called this universal life force ki. For them, ki wasn't an abstract idea. It was a tangible, mappable system. Ancient texts like the Huangdi Neijing, the Yellow Emperor's Inner Canon, are essentially detailed schematics of the human body's energy grid, complete with meridians acting as circuits and acupuncture points as switches. To them, sickness was just a traffic jam of ki. Health was a free-flowing superhighway. But philosophy is one thing. Weaponizing it is another. The real shift, the legend says, happens in the 5th century AD, with the arrival of a figure shrouded in myth, Bodhidharma. The stories don't just say he traveled from India. They whisper that he crossed the mighty Yangtze River on a single reed. When he arrived at a remote monastery on Mount Song, he found the monks spiritually devout, but physically weak, often falling asleep during long meditations. Not exactly peak performance, but Bodhidharma wasn't just a physical trainer. He was a force of nature. Legend claims he retreated to a nearby cave and meditated, facing a rock wall, for 9 uninterrupted years. Imagine the sheer force of will. The intensity of his focus was supposedly so profound, it said his shadow was permanently burned into the stone behind him, an image that some claim is still visible today. From this crucible of extreme discipline, he emerged and introduced a set of exercises. These weren't just stretches. This was the key to unlocking that inner forge, the secret to turning their bodies into unshakable vessels. And from this, something extraordinary was born. The Shaolin monks began to explore this internal alchemy. They developed practices like Qigong, literally, energy work, to cultivate and direct their ki. Think of it like this: while we're busy at the gym building muscle mass, they were at their own kind of forge, tempering their internal energy. This led to the almost mythical displays of power. The iron shirt technique, for instance. A practitioner visualizes his ki forming a protective shield and withstands blows that would shatter bone. It's a neurological and energetic command, turning skin into organic armor. Or consider the infamous feat of breaking a spear with the soft part of the throat. It's a terrifying display where all the body's energy is channeled to a single tiny point. I guess while we struggled to find our car keys, they were busy making their necks spear-proof. Different priorities, Modern science tries to explain this, away with terms like biofeedback or pain gate control. And maybe there's truth to that. But these explanations feel incomplete. They describe the what, but not the how. They see the shadow on the cave wall, but not the fire casting it. Already intrigued? Hit subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. The monks didn't see it as just controlling brain signals. They believed they were tapping into the very fabric of the universe. So, what if Qi is not just a metaphor for biological processes, but a genuine untapped physical energy that our science simply hasn't learned how to measure yet? So we have these incredible stories, these powerful legends. Monks with bodies of iron, meditating for 9 years straight. It's easy to file this all under mythology, a fascinating part of history, but ultimately not real, right? Well, here's where the story takes a turn that might keep you up at night. For decades, certain Western intelligence agencies and military research units were obsessed with one question: can the human mind influence the physical world? In the 1970s and 80s, the classified documents from projects like Stargate in the US reveal a serious, top-secret investigation into abilities that sound suspiciously familiar. Remote viewing, psychokinesis, and what they called human performance enhancement. According to Annie Jacobson's deep dive into this hidden history, researchers were studying individuals who could perform extraordinary feats, trying to reverse engineer their abilities for military application. One documented case involved a Qigong master from China who could, from a distance, allegedly alter the molecular structure of water and even kill cancer cells in a petri dish. Let that sink in. While mainstream science was dismissing these concepts as pseudoscience, clandestine government programs were actively trying to weaponize them. They weren't just curious. They were convinced there was something real there, a force they could harness. But the truly mind-blowing connection comes from a different field entirely: quantum physics. Physicists today tell us that at the subatomic level, reality is a bizarre dance of probability and potential. Particles exist in a state of flux until they are observed. The very act of conscious observation seems to solidify reality. Sound familiar? A monk focusing his intention, his consciousness, to harden his skin or resist a spear. What if Qi is not some mystical ethereal fluid, but is instead the human mind's ability to consciously interface with the quantum field? What if the Shaolin masters didn't just stumble upon a biological hack, but an operational manual for the fundamental laws of the universe? Imagine for a moment, what would happen if this Kai code was cracked today? Not by monks in a remote temple, but by a Silicon Valley tech giant or a secret military program, no longer used for spiritual enlightenment, but for creating the ultimate soldier, the perfect spy, or a form of control we can't even begin to imagine. Suddenly, the image of a peaceful monk breaking bricks with his bare hands doesn't just look impressive, it looks like a warning, a demonstration of a power that, in the wrong hands, could redefine what it means to be human. The secret isn't just that Qi might be real. The secret is who else knows it and what they plan to do with it. So we stand at a crossroads between ancient wisdom and terrifying potential. Between the serene monastery on Mount Song and the cold, sterile labs of modern ambition, is Kai a biological marvel? A quantum phenomenon? Or is it simply the ultimate expression of human discipline and belief? Perhaps the answer isn't one or the other. Perhaps Qi is what happens when the spirit becomes so focused, the mind so clear, and the body so disciplined, that the boundaries we perceive between ourselves and the universe simply dissolve. Shaolin monks didn't develop these abilities for fame or conquest. They did it as a path to enlightenment, a way to understand their place in the cosmos. Their power was a byproduct of their purpose. But in our modern world, we have a dangerous habit of seeking power without purpose, of extracting secrets without respecting their source. The true secret of the Shaolin, then, might not be the how, not the technique for breaking spears or resisting pain. The real secret might be the why. They mastered the body to liberate the spirit. What would we do with that same power? This ancient energy, this vibrant life force, continues to pulse just beneath the surface of our awareness. It's in the intuitive flash of insight, the sudden surge of adrenaline that lets a mother lift a car to save her child, the unbreakable will of someone who defies all odds. It's a forgotten current, waiting. A sleeping giant within our own DNA. The question is no longer, is it real? But are we ready to awaken it? And that's our hunt for now. A wild mix of documented history, declassified secrets, and tantalizing what-ifs based on bibliographical sources. What do you think? Like this journey into the body's hidden power? Hit subscribe for more mysteries that challenge the very nature of our reality. The next enigma is already waiting.